What is good, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages? I want to welcome you to the Industry Outsiders. Tonight, we will be talking about what happened at Elimination Chamber event tonight. As I'm recording this right now, the women's Elimination Chamber match is getting started. But let's go ahead and start running through this card. It's been a pretty good show tonight, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started with the pre-show kickoff and the match that I didn't know was happening. But I watched the pre-show, and some funny moments in the pre-show were with R-Truth. He's sitting up there. He's talking about he's there to see his childhood idol, John Cena, take on The Fiend at WrestleMania. And they're like, dude, this is the Elimination Chamber. What are you talking about WrestleMania for? He's like, why are y'all showing the graphics for WrestleMania? Anyway, we had a match between the Viking Raiders taking on Ryder, Hawkins. This was a decent match, a lot better than matches they've had before. Hawkins and Ryder showed a little more heel properties in this, but in my opinion, the Viking Raiders should still be the tag team champions. No offense to the Street Profits, but I would love to see a Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits versus Rollins Murphy, but I'll get into that later. I'm a big fan of Rollins Murphy, but of course, as you guys probably already know, the Viking Raiders go over in pretty dominant fashion. Like I said, it was a much better match than what they've had in the past, but it was pretty good. Now, let's get to the main card. So the night kicks off with a battle between the two best catch wrestling stars in the WWE today. We had Daniel Bryan taking on Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak, who is, in my opinion, one of the best wrestlers in the WWE, just does not get the shine. Hopefully, I think they're starting to see what his potential is here. He was an absolute monster in this match. He was not relenting on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan looked very good. But back to Gulak, he slapped Bryan so hard, Bryan had a handprint blistered on his back at one point in time. These two traded back and forth. Gulak hitting him with everything he's got. Bryan trying to counter everything because Gulak is just that dude. At one point, Gulak had Daniel Bryan in a head scissors, and Daniel Bryan did a handstand to get up. Drew Gulak did a short pile driver out of this. He just lifted his whole lower body off the ground. He just drove Daniel's neck right to the mat. It was a scary moment because we all know about Daniel Bryan's neck injuries, but they kept going. Daniel's a tough guy. He's fighting. You see the welt forming on this man's body during this match. Very enjoyable match. I really liked it. Another scary moment for Daniel came when Drew Gulak went for a German suplex and released Daniel very high, and Daniel straight came down on the back of his neck. In the end, Gulak did a reverse brainbuster off of the top rope, turned it into the Gulak Dragon Sleeper, in which Daniel Bryan turned it over into the Yes Lock, or the Label Lock, a very violent Label Lock, which Gulak was blocking it. And Daniel Bryan just started raining down hammer fist on Drew Gulak until he was able to complete the lock. Drew Gulak did not tap out. He passed out due to the pain and what the match entailed. So your winner, Mr. Daniel Bryan. Next up, we have the U.S. Championship match between Andrade, I call him a 5-star match waiting to happen, Andrade, versus Humberto Carillo. This match starts off with the running Andrade spinning elbow, and Carillo looks like he just got his head knocked off. These two guys do the usual high spots, high flying. Humberto's all over the place. Andrade's doing his healing things. It's a typical Andrade Humberto match. We've seen it for the last We've seen it many times over the last 3 months. Andrade said that he was injured, missed a month of action, which brought Angel Garza to the main roster, which is excellent for Angel Garza. But Umberto Carillo still has not picked up a win in a singles match against either one of them in a very long time. And that continued tonight. Umberto used some shady dealings. Not Umberto, I apologize. Andrade used his heel tactics, rolled up Umberto, pulled on the tights, and got the 1, 2, 3 to remain your U.S. champion. In my opinion, one of the best U.S. champions we've had in a long time. Next up, we have the first of 2 Elimination Chamber matches. Due to Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler winning their match on SmackDown at the hands of Heavy Machinery in that gauntlet match, they got to come out of their pod last. So this match is Dolph Ziggler, Roode, Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, The New Day, Miz and Morrison, and the Usos. So in the pods, we got Lucha Underground, Heavy Machinery, Miz and Morrison, Roode and Ziggler. The old rivals, the Usos and the New Day, start off this match, and they do their thing. They do their New Day Uso spiel, great wrestling, great things happening all around. They're doing their thing. The next team to get out of the pod is Gran Metalik and Lindsay Dorado of Lucha House Party. It's been a while since I've seen Gran Metalik. He's sporting a nice long haircut. And I'm going to tell you something. These 2 guys are showing that they are legit. They showed they are legit in this tag team match. The goofy Lucha House Party gimmick needs, in my opinion, needs to go away. They need to get back to their roots and being true luchadors. But they have some great moments in this match. Next out came Miz and Morrison. Nobody has been eliminated yet. Miz and Morrison are doing their heel things all over the place. But it is a no disqualification match, so they can get away with it. At one point, I think it was Big E flung Lindsay Dorado into the cage. Lindsay Dorado caught it and climbed to the top. I was like, this is. Next up is Heavy Machinery. Otis and Tucker come in to start cleaning house. At one point, Lindsay Dorado from the top of the cage, hanging from the middle of the chamber, does a backflip off of the chamber and lands on everybody. The only person still standing there was Otis, everybody's favorite big man. Then it was the Trash Compactor. Lucha Underground is the first team to be eliminated. And that was everybody knew that they weren't going to last long. They lasted longer than anybody thought, but they did that. But now we go to Otis and Tucker. So you got the New Day, Miz Morrison, the Usos, Otis and Tucker all in there doing their thing. Otis is being Otis. He's doing the worm. He's doing everything he can do. He's selling himself. He's the best big man in the industry right now. He's doing his thing. Tucker does his thing. He even does a plancha off of the top of the cell at one point as he threw Dolph Ziggler into Otis. And Otis, I think he should have power slammed him on the cage or should have thrown him into the thing, but he just did a top rope guillotine on him, which was a weak spot for what could have happened, but it is what it is. At this point, Dolph Ziggler is getting up in the corner by himself. Otis, with the whole Mandy thing, has blood in his eyes, and he's going right for Dolph. Dolph moves out of the way, and Otis goes through the back of the chamber because they got the glass pod on, they got the plexiglass on the corners of the pod, so he went through that, eliminating him from the match. The plexiglass flew off and hit the Spanish announce table, and I think it took out the Spanish announce team because I didn't see them for a little bit. Next thing we know, like I said, Tucky did a big plancha off the top of the cell, and Tucky then eats a couple of super kicks, and then Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode eliminate them, and they're taunting Otis and Tucker as Tucker helps Otis out of the arena because Otis, I think, did not take that fall too well off the edge of the ring, but I'm gonna tell he's a big boy. Next up, we have the Usos taking out Roode and Ziggler. If I do remember, no. Okay, who took out Roode and Ziggler? So the whole crowd chanting na 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 hey goodbye. So Roode and Ziggler have that obvious heat because of Otis and Tucker, the Heavy Machinery, and their love for them. So now we got the Usos So we have the Usos, the New Day, Miz and Morrison left. We now have Miz and Morrison taking out the New Day. They both pinned Kofi and he was done after some big moves by the Usos. So now we got the Usos versus the Miz and Morrison, and now this ended the best way it could. At one point, the Miz had Jimmy Uso in a figure 4 leg lock, and then down came John Morrison with Starship Pain. And the way this ended for the Usos is the Miz rolled up Jimmy Uso, and then this says no DQ. John Morrison flipped over and rolled him up. So with a double pin on Jimmy Uso, the Miz and Morrison retained their tag team championships. Well, after that, we have oh man, this was such a good, hard-hitting match. I had a lot of high hopes for this match, and it did not disappoint. So last week on Raw, it was supposed to be AJ Styles versus Aleister Black. It ended up being Aleister Black versus Carl Anderson, which he knocked out. Then it was Aleister Black versus Luke Gallows. Gallows jumped Aleister Black and got disqualified because he wouldn't get him out of the corner. And then AJ Styles won phenomenal forearm, and he beat Aleister Black for Aleister's first loss in the WWE main roster. This brings us to this no disqualification match. OC comes out, all three of them having inside no DQ, so you know what shenanigans are about. Aleister Black and AJ going back and forth. The OC, for the most part, stayed out of this match in the beginning of it. They jumped up on the ringside, distracted the ref, this and that. But at one point, Aleister Black and AJ, there's a couple of spots in this match that were beautifully executed. One was they were both on the tables, and Aleister Black kicked the shit out of AJ Styles' leg, and he fell, his legs went back, he went face first off the table, and then a diving knee off of the table to AJ's face. So they get in the ring, Aleister Black standing there, and here comes Luke Gallows. He takes a roundhouse kick to the face, knocks him down. In comes Carl Anderson. He takes a jumping knee. He's out. So now it's again Aleister squaring up with AJ, and then Carl Anderson's getting up, Gallows is getting up, and they're both and Aleister's like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go, let's do this shit. Excuse me, let's do this shit. So they're jumping, they're beating down Aleister. They hit the Magic Killer. AJ gets on the corner to hit a phenomenal forearm, and then you hear it. Dong. Lights go out. The lights come back on. The Undertaker has Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in two chokes in the ring. But the funny thing is, Aleister Black is nowhere to be seen. So I'm guessing he was under the ring getting some water, getting a little energy drink. Who knows? But AJ goes into a phenomenal forearm. The Undertaker turns around, catches him by the throat, hits him with another awkward chokeslam, which it's now been 2 chokeslams in a row that he's done this. So I'm guessing it's the way AJ is going to take the chokeslam right now, make it seem a little weird, but it is what it is. So he chokeslams AJ. Lights go out. Lights come back up. Aleister Black is back in the ring. The Undertaker is gone. The OC is laid out on the ramp. And then Aleister Black proceeds to uncork one of the nastiest black masses I have ever seen. It takes AJ Styles' head off, and your winner, Aleister Black. Next up, we have the Monday Night Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Street Profits versus Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Now, as I said earlier, I would love to have seen the Viking Raiders and the Profits go at it, but we're going to save that for probably the Viking Raiders turn heel, which we all know will probably happen sooner than later. This match had a lot going on. So I'm of the belief that Montez Ford is going to be one of the next great wrestlers in the WWE. This guy can do it all. He's got a power game. The dude can jump out of the building. He is amazing. Angelo Dawkins, I worry about him sometimes because he's been put in good situations before and has fallen on his face. But it seems like with Montez with him, he'll be just fine. Seth Rollins, the Messiah gimmick, is doing his job. Everybody hates him. Murphy is one of the best technicians in the WWE. So it is a great match. They are going at it tooth and nail. Montez hits some big moves. Rollins and Murphy do their heel shtick, the double super kicks. They do the all the great things in this match between these two teams. They really come out of the gate against each other. I believe Ford and Hawkins bring a lot out of these two, and right now I think Montez Ford and Seth Rollins could have a one-on-one rivalry if they decided to give Montez that chance. But we'll see what goes on. So in this match, we had the AOP on the outside, Rollins distracts the ref, and then the AOP beat up on Montez Ford, throw him into the barricade, and then out just with the quickness, you hear the Vikings Raiders music. So I'm thinking it's setting up WrestleMania, the Viking Raiders against the AOP, or maybe a fatal four-way or a triple threat tag team championship match with the Street Profits. But everybody wants the Viking Raiders and the AOP to finally have a tag team match against each other. It's something I've been waiting for since NXT. But we haven't got it yet because Rollins and Murphy were the tag team champions, and that's something that upset me. But it is what it is. Right now I'm watching this women's elimination chamber match, and when I get to it, I'll be able to. So now the AOP are gone. Ford, Dawkins, Rollins, and Murphy are still going at it. Murphy hit some nice meteoras to the double super kick. At one point, somehow Murphy, with his cruiserweight self, was stopping Dawkins and Montez Ford from doing a double superplex off of the top rope. Now, how he did that, I don't know. He's a strong guy. I know that, but he's not like Braun Strowman even gets that suplex. He eats that suplex. So Rollins comes in, and he had the big avalanche bomb, double superplex on Murphy, and then they cut up to the crowd. Here comes Kevin Owens coming down the crowd with a big old box of popcorn, just walking through the crowd, jumps the wall, and sits on his Spanish announce table, which earlier got hit with that plexiglass. Now, KO does not touch anybody. He's out there enjoying his popcorn, and one of the funniest moments of the night came. Rollins goes up to him, KO throws popcorn in his face, then Rollins starts berating him, and Angelo Dawkins with a pounce ended Seth Rollins' life into the fucking guardrail. I mean, it was a nasty blow that Seth took, but he's a big boy, you can take it. And when he did this, Kevin Owens offered Angelo Dawkins some popcorn. And it was funny. He's trying to offer it to the commentator team, nothing. But Dawkins and Ford knows that they got to hurry up. Dawkins hits a sky high, followed by Montez Ford's 10-star leapfrog splash, I'm going to call it now, because it is 5 times better than RVD's, because it is so much higher. They retain the titles. Buddy Murphy is out of the side of the ring. Seth Rollins is yelling at him, "What is wrong with you? What happened to you?" Yada, 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 doing his Messiah thing. Kevin Owens gets in the ring, puts the popcorn down, make sure it's nice and sturdy. It don't spill over. It must have been some good popcorn. He then boots Seth Rollins in the gut and hits him with a stunner. And Seth Rollins knows how to eat the stunners, much like The Rock used to, so it looked pretty nasty. On KO's way out, he dumped some popcorn on Murphy and walked out of the arena. At this point, Seth Rollins is very angry at popcorn. He goes over to where Murphy was laying, starts kicking the popcorn that was dumped on him in a very angrily fashion. And we start getting the promo to our next match, which is the 3-on-1 handicap Intercontinental title match. So Braun Strowman comes out first. It's still a little weird because the championship last, but it is what it is. In the back, they're talking to Zayne, Cesaro, and Nakamura. Zayne says, I want you guys to hang out on the ring. I got this. So Zayne, doing his Healy things, gets in the ring. As soon as he gets in the ring, he tags out. The Shinsuke Nakamura, and the fun begins. This whole time, the whole match, Braun Strowman is distracted by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is in Braun's head very, very much so. So anytime he hits Shinsuke, he goes to go and hit Sami Zayn. Zayn ducks out of the way. Braun runs around, gets mad, yada, yada, yada. Normal Braun things. Now we got Braun holding his own against Cesaro and Nakamura because Zayn really ain't doing much at this point. Maybe a punch in the face, a hit to the back, here and there. You know, the sheepish heel tactics to just piss off Braun Strowman. But the numbers ultimately get the best of Braun, where we have Nakamura actually giving Braun Strowman Kinshasa to the ring post. It was a nice moment and it looked cool, but it's a very dangerous moment also. At that point, Cesaro and Nakamura pick up Braun in a double suplex, much like they did on SmackDown, and a haluva kick out of the double suplex. So your winner and new Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn, is your new Intercontinental Champion. Next up, we are going to have, and at the end of this match, Sami Zayn is being just a prick, and he's up on the ropes showing Braun his new title. And Braun just screaming out, I'm not done with you yet, you son of a bitch, and typical Braun stuff. So I'm guessing we're going to see Braun versus maybe a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title, because I know Sami Zayn's going to be running his Healy mouth, talking about how he did everything, and Cesaro and Shinsuke are not going to take too kindly to that. And so I'm guessing that we'll see these four men again in action against each other, which would be a fantastic WrestleMania match. So now we're on to the main event of the evening. And I'm going to talk through this one a little slower because the match is still going on right now as I speak. We have the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Liv Morgan, Asuka, Shayna Bazler, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Natalya. The combatants in the cages are Liv, Sarah, Asuka, Shayna. So the match is starting off with Ruby Riott and Natalya. These two women are brutalizing each other for the most part. Ruby Riott's head gets stuck in the cage at one point. Same with Natalya's head. Women wrestlers have small heads, so they use it to their advantage. Then here comes the first person to come out of their cage is Sarah Logan, who delivers just one of the nastiest jumping knees I've ever seen to Natalya, and almost put her through one of the cells. It was ugly. Natalya lay there for a while. Sarah Logan was then brutalizing Ruby Riott. But then here comes Shayna Bazler. Shayna comes out, chokes out Sarah Logan. Shayna then abuses Ruby Riott, chokes her out, and then chokes out Natalya. So Shayna Bazler is by herself for a good 2 or 3 minutes in the chamber. We all knew this was going to come. We just didn't know how they were going to do it, make it look good. Liv Tyler gets out of the cell and tries to put some offense onto Shayna. Try as she might, it doesn't work. Shayna brutalizes her to the point where she's even swinging her into the cage and into the cell. Um, she takes her over to Asuka. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Shayna also brutalized Natalya with the door of the chamber pod by slamming it back and forth into her face about 10 times before she took her out. But she takes Liv Morgan over to Asuka. Shayna gets up on the top rope and hangs Liv Morgan by her neck in the computer choke. So Liv Morgan's out. So now we get to what we all wanted. Shayna versus Asuka. Unfortunately, right now, Asuka does have a very bad wrist injury. And Shayna, being the monster that she is, takes advantage of that. Asuka got some offense in. She probably would have been well off hitting the green mist if she had it packed tonight. But I don't know because it never came out. At one point, she tried to stomp on it. She got that. Shayna Baszler then chokes out Asuka. And now we have our WrestleMania match we all knew we were going to get. And that is Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. So that is what happened. Elimination Chamber 2020. Please stay tuned to the Industry Outsiders because we will be here after every pay-per-view, AEW, all of them. We will do our best to get this content out on a regular basis. YouTube channel just started. This will also be on Facebook on the Central Black Sports page. My name is Big Sin. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you on the next one. Good night.